Then there were three.
Now then, Ramblers, hey, welcome back to the ongoing saga that was, and is, my life. Yeah, right, shit's about to get real. So, around this time, I'm about 13, 14 years old. And it's becoming obvious that all is not steady aboard the good ship Baxter. Yeah, normally a sturdy vessel, but she's hit rocks. She's in a storm, a shit storm. No, for many years, my mum kept saying to me, one day I'll have a place of my own and you're welcome to come and live with me. Yeah, because that's how she spoke, slightly camp. And I was like, yeah, okay, Mum, thanks. What about Dad? Can he come? Yeah. Not bothered about Kev, but, me, you and Dad will be right. But, yeah, it was like a standing joke, you know what I mean? And more importantly, what about your job at Top Chippy? Yeah, what we going to eat if you leave? You see, for the last year or so, when Mum finished a shift, she got to bring home whatever was left. So, proper surprise every night it was. One night, you're sharing a small sausage, possibly a fish cake. The next night, you've got 3 cod, 2 haddock, 6 bags of chips, 2 bags of scraps, peas and gravy and beans, yeah. Anyway, I digress. So like I say, I always thought it was just Mum saying, just for a bit of a giggle to keep us guessing. So I'm being my usual fuckwit self at school, and I'm still not interested. Although, if I was there now, I'd probably have letters to describe, or be diagnosed with a condition. Cause that's what happens nowadays, yeah. But they'd maybe even let me take a support animal with me. Who knows? Or even go to a different place of learning where I'd get to piss about with car engines and all that. Yeah. No, the bottom line was I was just a buffoon who lived for buffoonery. I remember there was a request that I should see the school. It tickles me thinking about it now. They wanted me to see the school trick cyclist. Yeah, the old psychologist. And I thought, really? Yeah, but Dad saw through that bollocks. He knew I was just fucking daft. Yeah, but not as daft as him. So, it transpires that Dad's been dipping more than a time-served scouser. And not in the bins. No, he was, how shall we put it? He was sharing the love. Yeah, Warner was being over-friendly with, mostly anyone but Mum, really. And she'd had enough. She was pissed off. And you didn't piss Mum off. So one morning, I'm skipping merrily off to school, 'cause that's how I used to go, yeah. With a skip in me step, excited at the day of fuck nuggetry ahead. And by the time I get home, there's a letter on the side. And Dad's not happy. And neither is Kev. 'Cause both of them two are dead good at reading, you see. So that's 3 blokes home alone and not a responsible adult in sight. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? In retrospect, for me mum to leave as she did and how she did, it must have been ultimately far more horrific for her to deal with it all on her own than anything us 3 would have to go through for the foreseeable. And bizarrely, my memories of this particular period are strangely vivid, considering it's some 40 plus years ago. There was the denial period, let her have a moment, she'll be back. Won't she? Then there was the where's me clean school clothes? How the fuck do you use a twin tub? Who's going to change me bed? Who's gonna scrub behind me ears in the bath? What the fuck's for tea? Period. That went on for some time. Everything, it's fair to say, was a bit of a mess. And talking of a mess, old Captain Shitstorm, the instigator of our collective tempest, Dad, he wasn't coping too well. Looking back, I don't know how it was even possible. But Warner was drinking even more than usual. And at any hour that took his fancy. Yeah. So, Mam's family, they all lived in Scunny, some miles away. And we were never in each other's pockets. We didn't see family a great deal, to be honest. So, they're dealing with their own shit. We're dealing with our shit. It's family stuff, innit? Plus, Mam was quite a private person, not a big friend group at all. She had Frida across road, that was about it. And possibly embarrassed to ask for help. So poor Pauline, old Mam, was riding solo. Yeah. Now this was, as I say, the very early 80s, and the kind of help and assistance that is readily available today, simply it wasn't there back then. So my mum had only one option of refuge, and it was a voluntary organisation that had a house with loads of sectioned off rooms, and it was on Mary Street in Scunthorpe, a really sinister looking, imposing place that stood on its own at the back of a car park. And it was known locally, and forgive me for the wording that's representative of its time period, but it was known as the Battered Wives' Home. Yeah, that's what it was called. So, Mum got settled, or as settled as you could get, and got in touch with me to visit. So I did, and fuck me, what a world of difference from where, or dare I say even where we were from, you know what I mean, the upbringing we had. To my knowledge, Dad was never a purveyor of, shall we say, the do as you're told. No, it wasn't that kind of marriage. He just liked shagging. That was pretty much, yeah. But this was Mum's only option, a battered wives' home, a refuge centre. So they provided her with a single room that seriously made a prison cell look like an all-inclusive jolly. There was a single divan, a bedside cabinet, curtains, proper blackout drapes. Nobody was seeing into that place. If there was a carpet, you couldn't see it. Light shades? Nah. Ensuite toilet? Fuck no. Lock on the door? Sadly, to Mum's regular loss, no. The majority of the females that were in limbo at this halfway house, if they were any more down on the luck, they'd be wearing a headband whilst playing guitar and singing Sultans of Swing. Yeah, it didn't get any more dire straits for them than that. It was a truly shocking place. But to some, it was a safe house. Children were born in there. How some of the residents didn't die in there is a miracle. The ladies I'm using ladies very loosely, but I didn't know who they were. They had cuts, bruises aplenty, and they were just the visible scars. But Mum, always had a very caring nature, and she soon took on various roles, from mothering, childminder to the young ones, to carer of the more abused of the gathering, most of which robbed Mum blind of all she had, because they were destitute, they were desperate, they were drug dependents, they were alcoholics, they had fuck all, yeah. And Mum had fuck all, but she was willing to share it, but they took it off her anyway. Yeah, some seriously questionable life choices and backgrounds of these people. But it was the only option. But I swear it was a massive slap of reality that thankfully me nor Mum had to endure for very long. So on my return home, Dad was proper fucked. He was a completely broken man, to the point of being rendered down on his knees, crying his eyes out. He'd gone. So I entered the kitchen, awaiting what culinary delight Dad was obviously conjuring up for tea that night. And he asked me point blank, "Where is your mum living?" Now, whether it was me being protective of Mam, or me just being stubborn and being an arse, I just refused to tell him. I refused to my dad to tell him where his scared, lonely wife of some 25 plus years was hiding in a borderline squalor, taking the only option left to her, and that being a better option than fucking coming home to him. So I refused to tell him. Dad twatted me, full square on the nose. A break that I still wear to this day. Claret everywhere, blood all over the shop. And if I thought it was already broken, this was the one that broke the camel's back. But in hindsight, I wish we had a pet camel to take the blow rather than my fucking nose. Yeah. He collapsed in a heap, uncontrollably sobbing and begging me for forgiveness. If I could go back now, I'd have probably booted him while he was down. But to be honest, I think I was a tad in shock. Yeah, blood all over. And in the 14 years of Dad's company, he had never ever hit me once. It was generally Mum who administered the wrath, but not in a violent way. If you pissed Mam off, you knew you'd fucked up. So once the red mist cleared, if anything, it kind of shook him to his senses a bit. A shock to the system, I guess. Or more likely, he'd hit rock bottom. And the only way was up, literally, starting by getting up off the kitchen floor. So days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months. It's obvious she's not coming back. And in the background, Mum was in contact with school regarding the situation. And to be perfectly honest and truthful, I saw this period of absent parenthood as a bit of a carte blanche for me to be a bigger twat than normal, because I had an excuse and get away with shit. Yeah. And boom, I was on fucking free dinners. You got served first if you was on free dinners. Yeah, brilliant. So you were getting state provided free scran, and it was bloody brilliant. What a result. And the daft thing is, even though I was getting free dinner, I still distinctly remember hiding spam fritters under a pile of beans. Thick as fuck me. It was free and I was still nicking it. So within a space of a month or so, Mum was offered a 2-bedroom masonette down on Ripon Close, Westcliff. Yeah. One of the original of the 6 closes, and just down from our first initial family home of Salisbury Close. So time moved on. Mum got settled in, and in the meantime, back in Winterton, the Three Stooges were making the best of a big old shit pie. But on the plus side, I went to Leeds United Soccer School that summer with me mate Sid. Check this picture out here. Yeah, what a couple of geezers. And there's 4 internationals on that back row. See if you could guess them. I'll put a link who they are. So, could things get any worse? Oh, fuck yeah. And I'll tell you all about it in the next episode of The Rebel Without Applause. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you in a bit. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I've got to go because I'm coming back from Leeds United Soccer School and I've got a load of stuff to nick. Catch you in a bit.